Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Took a little extended time and haven't done a live, I think, since Thursday or Friday. I don't really remember. But this is My Political Truth, and my name is Jerry Tomchinsky. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for checking out the video, whether you're checking it out on Facebook, my watch parties, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. You could find us everywhere. Hey, Britt, you finally made it to one of my lives, huh? And you came right at the very beginning. Look at that. Very happy that you are here, as I am happy with all of my audience and all of my supporters. I really appreciate you guys. There's going to be more things coming up in the next few weeks. There'll be other ways to throw your support behind me, other ways that we can get the movement going, and I just got a lot of plans coming up. Anyway, I got certain things I want to talk about today. I don't want to keep you guys here too long. There's a few things that have really gotten under my skin, and I'm gonna just come out and start with the this past weekend, the violence again. Chicago, 64 people shot, 13 people dead. Not a word about it anywhere. New York's doing a little bit better. A little bit better than last week. Only 28 people shot in New York. Is that the optimism we have to look forward to? Is that seriously, like, that's what we say now? Oh, only 28 people got shot. That's not that bad. It's awful. And we have this dunce, DeBlasio, coming out blaming coronavirus. The other halfwit comes out, AOC, and says that people are trying to get bread to feed their family. Really? Really? So that's why people are getting shot. That's why kids are getting shot. The fact, you know what really bothers me? And it's not so much these Democrats anymore because A, I expect it. B, they are just unbearable. And anytime I pause, it means that I would have cursed. So I'm trying not to continuously. So they are just an unbearable group of people. And the politicians, I get it. That's their job. Their job is to blatantly lie to us, and for their supporters, they count on the stupidity. And I get it. All of their supporters are below average intelligence. And I don't really care who you are. If you're watching this, if you can support a modern day Democrat or a modern day liberal, I got nothing to say to you. Seriously. Your intelligence level is right at my shoe size, and I'm an 11. Okay? I'll give you that. I'm above average shoe size, but your intelligence level, no way. Absolutely not. I am completely disgusted by the supporters. Yeah, Kim, their supporters, see, sheep follow the shepherd when he feeds them, when he houses them, when he takes care of them. All the Democrats do is abuse their followers and their supporters and use them, and they pretend like they care about them every 4 years or every 2 years, depending on the election. They pretend like they care about their constituents. They pretend like they care about the country. Well, I don't think they've ever pretended like, well, no. These Democrats, today's Democrats, do not care about the country at all. Matter of fact, they hate this country. They hate this country so much so that I haven't seen a single Democrat come out and condemn this violence in Chicago, in New York, in Atlanta, in Minneapolis. Speaking of Minneapolis, let me tell you guys a story that no news channel covered. And when I say no news channel, I mean Fox, I mean One America, and Newsmax included. Okay? Hey, what's up, Chucky? As you know, I live in Manhattan, and it's just the blind leading the blind. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And I'm going to circle back to you, Chris. But I really want to talk about this story that I found. This just happened in Minneapolis over the weekend, right? So a 12-year-old Minneapolis boy was playing Pee Wee League football. Finally, they lifted some restrictions. The kids could get out and play their Pee Wee League, their Little League, whatever the case may be, right? All of a sudden, from the stands breaks out a gang shootout. And I say gang shootout because that's the way it was reported. Because they couldn't play identity politics with this. Want to know why? Because it wasn't the blue gang shooting the black gang. You understand? It was just the black gang shooting at other black gangs. So nobody's going to cover it. Nobody's going to talk about it. Nobody's going to refer to it what it truly was, savages being savages. And I don't really care what you think about that. If you can open fire 50 feet from where kids are playing, you are nothing more than a caveman, savage Neanderthal. You get that? You're not human. You're below, like, I won't call you an animal because animals are good. Dogs are good. Cats are good. Animals are good. You people are savages. When I say you people, calm down. I mean the ones that can open fire where kids are right there without a single care in the world. They don't care who they drop. They don't care who gets hit in the crossfire. They don't care what innocents they take down until it hits home for them. And that, my friends, is how karma works. And karma will come back for them. It was so bad that the shootout spread onto the field and the coaches were literally shielding the kids from bullets. Luckily, by the grace of God, I don't know how, but no kids got shot. Honestly, because these idiots throw shots goofy. They can't shoot, none of them. First of all, when they stop holding the gun sideways, then maybe they can hit a target. But I digress. Let's not talk about that right now. This isn't a movie, okay? And I gotta turn the news on in the morning, and I gotta hear just complete garbage on every single station. It's more of the blah, 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 blah. This one's leading in that poll. This one's trailing in this poll. What about the kids that are getting slaughtered coast to coast? No. Biden gets let out of his basement and says nothing. Says nothing. You could tell I'm a little bit bothered by what's going on in this country, about the fact that nobody on the right is standing up at all, other than our president. And what do we have? 3, 4, 5 politicians that'll open their mouth? The reason that it seems like they're winning is because they have more people willing to come out and speak out publicly and not be afraid of backlash. Because, truth be told, there is no backlash for Democrats. They can literally say anything they want, and it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Can you imagine? You guys have seen the videos I've posted lately of Joe Biden saying the N word openly on the Senate floor. You guys have seen that, right? You've seen when he said that he doesn't want his kids going to school with, you know, those kids from those neighborhoods. Can you imagine if President Trump said something even remotely close to that? What would happen? He would get vilified, excoriated. Oh my God. The man wakes up in the morning and they call him a racist. He literally came out on July 3rd and gave one of the best speeches I have ever heard. Ever heard. And these idiots, and I mean the journalists on CNN, MSLSD, they all come out talking about Trump's speech was divisive, it was racist. Stop it! You guys, enough with the BS reporting. It's gotten to a point where normal people can't choke this stuff down anymore. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Fox is starting to slide down that rabbit hole right now where you got Chris Wallace, who is a dyed-in-the-wool Trump hater, and he was actually trying to make sense of Joe Biden the other day. Listen, I don't care who you are. Albert Einstein, Bill Gates, the biggest genius, Elon Musk, nobody understands this man. I'm sorry. Nobody understands Joe Biden. He came out the other day, and he was giving kind of a layout of his economic policy. First of all, wasn't his. He bit it word for word from President Trump. He called it Build Back Better. And his message, on one hand, was Buy American. Okay, that was President Trump's entire stance in 2016. But then on the other hand, he has the complete imbecile whack job AOC advising him. And he's got Bernie Sanders involved now. He's got Elizabeth Warren involved now. He can't even make a decision on what his policy is. He was explaining his policy the other day. Now, mind you, follow me on this. Now, I come on here, and this isn't a professional setup. I don't have a teleprompter. I got a couple of notes that I can't even read my own handwriting. And everything else is off the top of my head, whatever I'm thinking or feeling at the time. This man has, I promise you, he has notes. He has a teleprompter. He probably has 34 assistants holding up different cue cards. And he still couldn't do it. He said, as soon as, and I saw you know when you're looking at somebody and you see the ideas or the thoughts just leave their head? It was like a cartoon. I saw it leave Biden's head. Right at that moment. And that very next moment, after that, he says, oh, I'm taking up too much of your time. Did you notice that's all he does? That's all he does. If he forgets, he says, well, I'm taking up too much of your time now. And then they walk him back to the basement and lock him in there. And then when they're ready for him, you hear somebody get on the bullhorn and scream out, bring in the gimp. And then they bring in Biden. I mean, is this guy a joke or what? Is he really, come on. The setup is there. He's not making it to the debate stage. He's not making it to election day. I promise you that they're planning something for the either during the Democratic National Convention or possibly before it. Something's going to happen. There's no way they're going to allow Biden to go on stage with President Trump. They're just not going to. And if they do, it would be career suicide for the campaign advisors, the campaign managers, everybody involved in the Biden camp and the DNC. It would be career suicide. Trust me when I tell you, he's not making it to election day. And if he is, I mean, if he makes it to election day, I will be the first one to come on and say, wow, they really are dumber than I thought. Okay, let's go vote. And it still bothers me that people have the nerve to badmouth our president. All right, now follow me on this one, and most of you guys know this already. President Trump comes into office, hasn't taken a salary in 4 years, right? His kids, Don Jr., Eric, Ivanka, mind you, they're all smarter than the entire Democrat Party put together, okay? But as much as they have searched and as much as they have tried and as much dirt as they've tried to throw on the Trump name, they literally can't find any wrongdoing taking advantage of their father being president, okay? So, President Trump came into office to better the lives of Americans because he was tired of the crap that was going on in D.C., right? What has the Biden family done? All the Biden family has done is enrich themselves ever since Joe has been in any kind of public office. Everything that he has done, every decision that he has made was made based on the ultimate fact of how it's going to affect him, his family, or those closely connected to him. Paid for by the U.S. taxpayer. You follow me on that? So Biden is talking all this Buy American stuff, right? After 50 years of caving and passing legislation to give the advantage to China. And now he wants to talk Buy American and expects people to buy his garbage? To believe what's coming out of his hole? This guy won't release any of his documents over his 40 plus years in the Senate. Will not release his documents, his records that are all held at the University of Delaware, right? They're sitting there. They're ready to be laid out for the public. And he says that these records are off limits because they have to do with the Senate and not with him because he's running for the president. This is just the mumbo jumbo that comes out of his mouth, right? So those records are off limits, right? But when Brett Kavanaugh was nominated for the Supreme Court, his high school yearbook wasn't off limits because the Democrats paid some woman to claim that Brett Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her. That was the start, I believe that was the start of the Me Too movement. You know when it ended? When Tara Reid accused Joe Biden of sexual harassment, assault, whatever the case. Because up until then, the Democrats' whole thing was, you got to believe the victim and you must believe the woman. And okay, I get it. A lot of it's hard. Listen, I sympathize with that more than anybody. You guys ask my wife. I'm the first one to speak up against brutality against women. I'm the first one to talk about when there's abuse against children. Two things I will not stand for. And now this woman accuses Joe Biden, and Nancy Pelosi has the audacity to come on her press conference and say, well, that's just Joe being Joe, as she drops her dentures on the thing. Come on, man. Really? So that's okay to not believe Miss Reed. But Christina Blasey Ford, that met Brett Kavanaugh one time at a high school party 40 some odd years ago, God knows where, in the middle of God knows what, with God knows who, we had to believe her, right? And waste more taxpayer money on the public spectacle in front of the Judiciary Committee. Are you kidding me? Are we really gonna buy this and accept them trying to push this lunatic to the presidency? You must be joking. I mean, all right, let's say, for the sake of argument, right? Just for the sake of argument, that Joe was coherent and that he could formulate a sentence and he didn't eat crayons on a daily basis. Let's just say all that, right? Let's look back at their record. The Obama-Biden record, okay? And I'm just going to give you a couple of statistics, a couple of numbers. So, under Obama-Biden, there's been 13 million more Americans on food stamps under the Obama administration with Jim Crow Joe as the VP, okay? 8 million more Americans were either at or below the poverty level under Barry, okay? It was the lowest labor participation since the 1970s, meaning they were just thrilled that Barry was in office. They're like, we don't got to work. One of our own is in office. He'll take care of us. Looks like he did. I mean, he spent more than every single president before him combined. So he was the 44th president, right? So you take the 43 presidents before him, you add up all of their spending, and Barry still spent more. Try to comprehend that. Everybody talks about, he pulled us out of this recession that President Bush started. Okay. He had the worst recession recovery since the 1940s. Okay? So please, I'm begging you, cut the crap that President Obama started the record-breaking pace that President Trump got to. President Trump got into office and obliterated records. He obliterated records. He didn't just beat them. He annihilated them. Do you guys even know the things that he did? And I'm not talking about the people that like him. I'm talking about the haters. Let me read off some of the things, some of the accomplishments from President Trump, okay? The stock market reached all-time highs, and that was before coronavirus, and then coronavirus hit, it dropped almost below 20,000 again, or it might have dropped below 20,000 for a day or two. It was a bear market for the shortest amount of time in history, like a day and a half, 2 days. Anyway, consumer confidence was at a 17-year high. These are all statistics. These aren't opinions, okay? More than mortgage applications came to a 7-year high. Unemployment rate in total was at a 17-year low. In total. I don't mean just for Black Americans. I don't mean just for Hispanic Americans. I don't mean just for Asian Americans. I mean for Americans. Period. At a 17-year low. Women in entrepreneurship, women in the workplace. President Trump signed executive orders to that effect. He gutted Obama-era regulations that were destroying this country. Ended the war on coal, weakened the Dodd-Frank regulations. If you don't know what that is, look that up. Dodd-Frank, look that up. It's very significant. Promoted buying and hiring American. Just like this imbecile said the other day on TV. Buy American. No. Joe Biden doesn't, I don't think he knows he's in America. Did you see the look in his eyes lately? You just want to go like, yoo-hoo. Anybody home? And you know nobody's going to answer. President Trump brought back all these factory jobs that the Obama-Biden administration, excuse my French, but pissed away to China. Literally, everything that President Reagan did in the 80s and that Bush, Clinton, and Bush continued to do, and again, Obama came in and literally shattered everything that the presidents before him did. And people are talking about that he was a good president. He was the worst and most corrupt president in the history of our country. And I will say this on every single broadcast at least one time. At least one time. Let's see. President Trump had the First Step Act. He enforced a 5-year lobbying ban, sanctioned Iran over missile program, responded to Syria over bombings, introduced tax reform plan, renegotiated NAFTA, which was a god-awful deal, withdrew from the TPP, exited the Paris Accord, which was another garbage deal, created the task force to reduce crime. The Department of Justice started targeting MS-13. When Obama was in office, nothing. They talked about criminal reform. They talked about criminal justice. They talked. No action. No action. The only time I would see Obama do anything worthwhile is during March Madness. ESPN would have him to do his basketball picks. He couldn't do that right either. Obama spent 8 years ignoring and abusing our veterans. Okay? Trump came into office, fixed the VA, and continues to fix the VA. President Trump continues to do such an exceptional job that these idiots on the left spent 4 years trying to get him out of office. Then when they couldn't get him out of office, they create this pandemic, I misspoke. They create this pandemic. Then that's not working because the stock market is back to its almost record high again. So now they want to spike up these coronavirus numbers. And did you guys know that in the last week, only 71 people died nationwide from coronavirus? 71! Nobody's going to report that on the news. You get that? All they're going to tell you is, oh my God, Florida got 15,000 more people with coronavirus. So, if you don't have a pre-existing condition and you're not of a certain age, you'll be fine. And check this out. President Trump, he's on the vaccine. Do you really think that he's going to allow Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to come up with the vaccine? You must be smoking something if that's what you think President Trump is going to allow. Stop it. I mean, it's just complete and utter idiocy. Again, and I don't hold responsible these politicians. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Democrat politicians are scum by nature, and they have to live up to that. That's a high thing to live up to. You know, I mean, I had a girl that I kicked out of the group the other day because she said something, and it was so stupid that I can't even remember exactly what she said. She said something about, oh, I remember. We were talking about, there was I don't know how it came up, Hispanics and who's considered Hispanic, Oh, it was a post about the Goya fiasco that happened the other day. And somebody said, well, this is a proud Hispanic man. And this girl, complete Democratic apologist, comes on and literally says, he's not Hispanic, he's from Spain. Oy vey. Where do they find these people? What hole did this imbecile crawl out of that she could say something like that? Oh, you know, I come on here and yeah, she said he's not. Yeah, Kerry, exactly. He said he's not Hispanic because he's from Spain. Thank you. You were there. I remember. My lord, I, this is the intelligence that we're dealing with, and I'm going to continue to come on here every day, and every stupid, imbecilic thing that I see, I'm going to put on blast, because this is exactly why I started doing this. I cannot stand the false narratives. I can't stand the lies. I can't stand any of it anymore. Okay? So, I got a really good quote to end this program off, and this one comes from Adolf Hitler. Terrorism is the best political weapon, for nothing drives people harder than a fear of sudden death. Think about that. And thank you for joining me. Have a great night. Again, thank you for the support. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Have a good night.